Hello, and welcome to this brief presentation that will introduce you or remind you of 3 examples of databases that provide access to ebooks in 3 different ways. I'm your host, Julie Zamosny, the Staff Development Coordinator for the Western Maryland Regional Library, serving Washington, Allegany, and Garrett counties. All 3 databases covered in this presentation are available through the Allegany County Library System's website. The address is on the screen. And they are available for you and your students to use in school and at home, but in order to use the databases, each user, librarians, teachers, and students alike, must use his or her own Allegany County Library System's library card. Sharing of library cards to access the databases is breach of contract and puts the libraries in a position to potentially lose access to the databases and to the ebooks within them. The image on the screen is showing you where to click to begin accessing the library's databases, with the Online Databases link located on the top toolbar. After clicking on the Online Databases link, you'll see the screen indicated here. Click on the All Databases link for an A to Z list. This is the most direct way to access the 3 databases we'll be experiencing during this presentation. The first ebook database we'll experience is called Bookflix. Bookflix is a fun and interactive ebook database geared toward kindergartners through 3rd graders, with fiction storybook videos from Weston Woods and interactive nonfiction ebooks from Scholastic. Bookflix is set up so that a fiction storybook video is paired with a nonfiction interactive ebook. Plus, games have been incorporated into the overall experience, and there are resources available for librarians, teachers, and parents. Let's take a look at Bookflix more closely. Start by clicking on a category, such as People and Places. Then, browse through the paired titles. There are tabs on the right side of the interface which allow you to flip through the selections as if you were flipping through a magazine. Within each pair, the title shown on the left is the storybook video from Weston Woods. The title shown on the right is the nonfiction interactive ebook from Scholastic. To select a pair, click the green Go button. This screen indicates the launchpad for both the fiction storybook videos as well as the nonfiction ebooks. The storybook videos are videos made of actual books, but they incorporate music, narration, and read-along technology which you can turn on and off. The interactive ebooks present themselves as if you're looking at the physical book. They also incorporate narration, read-along technology, as well as dictionary help. For example, words highlighted in yellow are pronounced aloud and defined for the reader. Instead of advancing automatically from page to page, the reader has to flip the pages as if he or she were reading the physical book. As I mentioned earlier, Bookflix also incorporates additional interactive features such as games to the interface. You can access these as well as author information and supplemental information on the internet via the area on the left that I've highlighted in orange. At the top of the screen, I've also highlighted the Resources link and the Lesson Plan link. These are the areas that librarians, teachers, and parents will be most interested in. For example, teachers can use or modify the lesson plans associated with each book and video pairing for use in their own classes. To wrap up Bookflix, we've seen 2 examples of ebooks, books as videos and books as interactive digital representations of physical books. But there are still 2 more examples of databases that contain ebooks that we must look at in order to round out this ebook presentation. The next of which is the Gale Virtual Reference Library. To access the Gale Virtual Reference Library database, we're going to return to the Allegany County Library System's website and follow the steps we saw earlier for accessing the A to Z list of online databases. The Gale Virtual Reference Library, also known as GVRL, is a full-text database of encyclopedias, dictionaries, handbooks, almanacs, and other specialized reference sources which are geared towards students in grades 6 through 12. You can start interacting with GVRL in a couple of different ways. You can choose to search the database by document title, keyword, document text, or subject. You can also choose to browse through the database by clicking on a subject category and then by choosing a corresponding publication title. If we choose to conduct a keyword search for fashion, the results show 990 hits sorted by relevance. Please note that any blue text you see is clickable. For example, to read article number 4 shown here, you can click on its title, Influence of Youth on Fashion, or you can click on the blue text that says Full Text, or the blue text that says One PDF Page. If you click on the publication title, listed immediately below the article title, it will open the article's parent reference source. In this case, it would open the reference book Fashion, Costume, and Culture, Clothing, Headwear, Body Decorations, and Footwear Through the Ages. If the 990 hits need to be filtered a bit more to reveal more relevant results, you can use the yellow area on the left and narrow the results by using the drop-down menu and links provided. At this time, let's click on article number 4 to take a look at the article level view. There is much to take notice of within the article level screen. At the very top, we have the ability to listen to the article being read to us. All we have to do is click on the Listen link, highlighted in orange at the top of the screen. To the right of the citation information is the Tools box, highlighted in orange and magnified in the foreground. The tools give us the ability to print, email, and download the article. We can also download the audio version of the article in MP3 format. We can even translate the article into several different languages. Then, beneath it all is the actual article, which, in this case, is a sidebar. Now, let's return to the main GVRL screen to see the process of browsing in action. If we choose to browse through the database instead of searching for a specific topic or keyword, we will see a different progression of screens. First, we have to click on a subject, such as history. The history section then expands to show us the specific reference titles classified under the subject of history. Second, we select one of those reference titles. And third, we are taken to the publication level screen. The publication level screen has some of the similar tools we saw in the article level screen, but of more importance are the 3 blue links at the top leading you to the e-table of contents, the eBook index, and the list of illustrations. Let's click on the eBook index link since this is typically how one approaches a print reference book. Clicking on the eBook index, we're taken to a hyperlinked, alphabetized list of entries, seen here in the first box at the top of the screen. We can click on any letter to jump forward or backward through the alphabet. The blue hyperlinked numbers shown here to the right of each alphabetical entry are the volume and page numbers of where the entry appears within the publication. We can click on any of these blue numbers to jump directly to the article level screen, such as the one shown here on Goth Style. To wrap up the Gale Virtual Reference Library database, we've seen one more example of an ebook format. This one is intended for older audiences, however. The content is still accessible to a variety of learners thanks to interactive features such as the ability to have the article read to you. Next, we're going to experience our last example of an ebook database. This one we call OverDrive. To access the OverDrive database, we're going to return to the Allegany County Library System's website and click on the image highlighted in orange on the screen that says Download Audiobooks, eBooks, OverDrive. OverDrive is a database of ebooks and audiobooks geared toward all age groups that can be downloaded onto your computer and then transferred to mobile devices such as Apple iPods and Barnes & Noble Nooks. There are some technical requirements that need to be met in order for someone to use this database to its fullest extent. We'll hear more about those next. There are 3 things to remember when using OverDrive. First, Adobe Digital Editions and the OverDrive Media Console software must be installed onto the computers that will be used to access OverDrive. There may be additional software requirements for the portable e-reader devices if someone wants to use them, but OverDrive requires only these 2 software be installed. You can find the installation files on the OverDrive site on the right-hand side of the screen outlined in an orange square. Second, it is advisable to log in with your library barcode even before the search process begins. Logging in right away opens up more of OverDrive's features to you, such as My Account and My Cart. Third, now that I've mentioned the search process, I suggest using the advanced search to locate ebooks and audiobooks. The advanced search is available on the top red toolbar that's highlighted in blue, or you can also find the advanced search link on the right side of the screen, just above the installation files I mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at the advanced search form and the results list more closely. The advanced search form provides several different criteria by which you can search, but there are a couple of sections I want to call your attention to. The first of which is the Creator field. The creator is the same as author, but it can also be used to search for narrators of audiobooks. The Format drop-down menu contains 4 selections: EPUB, ePDF, WMA, and MP3. EPUB and ePDF formats are text-based formats which allow the book to be read on a computer screen or on a portable e-reader device such as the Sony e-reader or the Kobo. WMA and MP3 formats are audio-based formats which allow the audiobooks to be played on a computer's media player or on a portable listening device such as the Zune or Apple's iPod. The last selection of the advanced search form that I want to cover is the checkbox at the very bottom of the form. OverDrive is a very popular database, and oftentimes all of the copies of a book will be checked out. To save some time, OverDrive can show you only those titles that have copies available to download. A sample results list shown here on the left show the titles classified under the subject of young adult. They are currently arranged alphabetically by title. The information contained within the gray bar tells you the format of the title, whether it's an MP3 file, a WMA file, an EPUB file, or a PDF file. The icons shown in the gray bar indicate with which technology the file is compatible. The last important piece of information contained within the gray bar is whether or not there are any copies available to download. For example, the first title in our results list is a WMA audiobook that is compatible with PCs, WMA players, and iPods. The Add to Cart link tells us that there are copies available to download, as opposed to the third title on our results list, which is also a WMA audiobook, but instead of the Add to Cart link, it has a Place a Hold link, which you can use to add yourself to the waitlist. Let's follow this first title through the checkout process. To start, we have to click on the Add to Cart link that is highlighted in orange at the top of the screen. Next, follow the prompts on the screen to set your lending period to 7 or 14 days. Then confirm your checkout. Lastly, as long as the proper software has been installed on the computer, the final step is to click the gray download button that displays beneath the book cover icon shown here. And in a nutshell, that is OverDrive, which introduces us to one of the most prolific types of ebooks out there, the downloadable kind. Before bringing this presentation to a close, let's take a moment to briefly review the 3 databases that we just explored. First, we popped into Bookflix, which showed us fiction and nonfiction ebook pairings designed to engage students in kindergarten through 3rd grade with an interactive reading experience. Readers will find music, narration, read-along technology, and even games in Bookflix. Next, we turn to Gale's Virtual Reference Library for the more serious researcher in grades 6 through 12. We found printable, downloadable, and even iPod-compatible reference articles on a variety of subjects from art through the social sciences. Lastly, we entered the world of OverDrive, where downloadable ebooks and audiobooks abound, just waiting for readers and listeners of all ages to come along and transfer them to an e-reader or an MP3 player. Remember, to access these databases and others through the Allegany County Library System's website, any and all users need to have his or her own library card. Sharing of library cards to access the online resources is breach of contract with the database vendors. Thank you so much for indulging in this brief presentation on the many ebooks that are available to you and your students through the Allegany County Library System. Please feel free to contact me at the email or phone number shown on the screen if you have any questions about this presentation or the information contained within it. Take care and happy learning!